Yep. What's up, Dreamedia family? This is Zach. Welcome back to another episode. We're out here at Expona 2024, exhibiting with Fidelity Imports, showing off a couple of our favorite brands from Perlisten and Primare. We are doing the world premiere of the brand new R18s. Sealed 18-inch subs at a reasonable price point. I can't wait to bring on Eric to give you guys the lowdown on what makes this product so unique. Come on in, Eric. Nice to see you this morning.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, so tell our audience, we are super pumped to see you guys introducing some subs at a lower price point, but I'm sure we're not compromising quality. Tell them what makes this product unique.
Yeah, that's this. There's a large demand in the market to have a little bit lower price point and have, maybe even compact. So R10, 12, 15, and 18, whole family. Matte black finish, but while maintaining all the Intel, the app control, all the DSP, all those kind of cool things that you might need. And so that's what's really kind of unique about it is, same great low frequency extension, scaling for SPL. Even if it's a 10, it's still going to play below 20 hertz. And if you want more, you want louder, it's just scaling those subwoofers. And yeah, so that's kind of the concept of them. Is meets marketing demand. Everyone wants an 18. So we did that as well. And that's kind of the more exciting is everyone, I think, wants an 18 or a 10, right? It's that cosmetic appeal.
Yeah.
I want to blend in. I don't have room for a giant box, or I don't want a giant box, so I want something a little smaller too. So that's where the 10 comes into play. And we were playing with an 8 too as well, the super output performer 8. So that might be coming in the future.
Oh, okay.
But
cool.
we're looking at some skunk works there as well.
But
too.
right now, we're premiering a 10, 12, 15, and 18.
Correct. Yep.
Amazing. And we actually have here at Expona in Chicago, guys, the whole weekend, we're going to be playing these dual 18s paired together with the R5ms. Can you tell them real quickly some of the proprietary tech, such as the DPC array that's built into not only your R series, but your S series?
Yeah, and so that again, that's unique. What we try to do, even per series, per lineup, is exact same frequency response. So we believe whatever's recorded is what should come out. We believe in a flat frequency response. But what maintains people like, well, it doesn't sound bright enough or whatever. A lot of manufacturers make them bright, so they sound good in a demo room. You bring them home, and then your ears bleed. Like you listen for 30, 40 minutes, and you're like, wow, it doesn't sound good anymore. And that's that ear fatigue. So that's where that flat response comes into play. Putting it in a room and it sounds boomy when you get it home, and that's because bass is emphasized, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be nice, flat, even, well constructed. And so that all starts out with like DPC. That beginning is an S series and R series. It's about a beam forming in the vertical line of the array, and symmetry happens, and you can see that like when you get the R5m, R7, blah, 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 you get more and more drivers. The uniformity is drivers, DPCs in the center, and that all starts with the 3 drivers there for 3 times the efficiency, 1/3 the excursion, 3 times the power handling, and because they're all playing in unison from 1 to about 3 kilohertz, you have 3 times the efficiency. Now, before all that gets crazy, start canceling and comb filtering and all those nasty issues of overlapping drivers, we roll off the 2 mid-ranges above the main tweeter. As you can see them here, These are the 2 mid-ranges. And in that scenario, then you go right onto the main tweeter, which is controlled, the directivity is controlled by the waveguide alone, and instead of the 2 tweeters above that. What's also unique is that because I can now control directivity all the way down to 1 kilohertz with the array, because I have the 3 drivers. So in order to control directivity, you have to control time, amplitude, and phase. So how do you control time passively? You can't with a crossover, but I can with physical offset and dimensions. So this tweeter is physically out forward in space versus the main tweeter. So that distance offset is now my time offset. And then amplitude and phase is the crossover. So now I can actually control the directivity, early reflections like up the floor, off the ceiling, where virtually none of us can treat, or maybe don't want to treat for visual impact in a room. That is controlled.
That's mostly what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And so that plus or minus about 25 degrees. And then if you start looking at what's 25 degrees at the seating position, that's, I mean, ankles to almost ceiling.
Yeah.
So there's nothing about, you know, I stood up and all the imaging crashed. I moved over here and the imaging crashed. It's about not controlling it so tightly that your listening performance is altered. It's just about having better treatment in a room. And then that symmetry goes on to the woofers. So the next two woofers play the same frequency and that symmetry. So these two drivers to the ear are in line in time. Up here, this one is offset much different than this one. Cancellation, cancellation. Out here, there's summation. And you do the same thing with the woofers. They're uniform to the ear and straight in front of it. Up here, it's a much greater path length from the bottom than the top. Cancels, cancels. And you keep going in a driver array, R7, S7, add more drivers, and we hand off the frequencies lower and lower in frequencies with our crossover, and that symmetry plays all the way down. With an R7, you control down to 200 hertz. And when you take measurements in a room, you can see, okay, the mid-band doesn't get emphasized by room modes. And you're like, well, why is it? It just looks like a great speaker, and that's the reason.
It is a great speaker.
That's most of the time when we're getting omnidirectional at lower frequencies at 4, 5, 600 hertz would still have a lot of room mode issues before we hit the transition frequency in the room. And so that helps reduce that effect.
I really appreciate you taking a deep dive for our customers. Essentially, what this means for us guys is we can put these speakers in more rooms easily and accomplish better quality audio.
Yeah, and exactly, just to top that all off, I mean, room acoustics are the second most important part. Our job is not to screw up the source by overemphasizing, creating distortion, whatever, but the room is still a major part of it. And you have to think about that. And, you know, we have paneling in here as well, some absorption, reflection, and some of that stuff, because it helps. And if you have the opportunity to do that in your room, you should definitely think about it as well, too.
Wonderful. Yep. Well, I appreciate you coming on and giving our viewers a little insight into the Perlisten brand. I'm a huge fan myself, and I'm very excited to play demos for you guys all weekend long. I'd love to bring in Terry from Primare to talk a little bit about the separates that we have. So, guys, I want to get this content out for you really quickly. We're shooting super raw. I'd like to introduce Terry. He is the man from Primare. Tell us about the SP25 and our 35.2 mono blocks and how they're efficiently paired together with our Perlisten monitors.
Well, in fact, I want to tie in with a little something that Eric said, is this idea of compact ability to produce great sound in the listening room. And that's what we're emphasizing here. In fact, one of the things that we're highlighting is the fact that we're using our SP25 surround sound processor in what is effectively a stereo system, a 2.2 system. We're taking advantage of its crossover network, obviously, to drive these impressive subwoofers. But then the upper frequencies, the mid-bass on up, are handled not only by our electronics, with the subs, obviously, with their powerful amp taking care of the bass, but then feeding these highly resolving loudspeakers from Perlisten. And so with that in mind, we want to emphasize that this SP25, while it has all the functionality of our SP25 integrated amplifier, which is 11 channels of processing, as well as Direct Live, Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, Dirac, that it is designed first and foremost for the highest level of fidelity, whether you're listening to music or watching movies. And so the ability of this system, particularly combined with the Perlisten product, does do that disappearing act, that idea that no matter what content you're looking to play, the SP25 coupled with any of our amplifiers, whether it be the A35.2 that we have here, a stereo amp, bridge to mono, or in its stereo configuration, particularly in a system like this, where the subs can take over the heavy lifting of the bass, a single stereo amplifier could easily drive the stereo speakers to great fidelity. And so you have all these different options. In fact, I think when we were together at the Florida show, we showed the A35.8, our 8-channel amp, that at various bridge modes, we can offer any configuration possible, whether it's a 2-channel system like we have here, or an elaborate multi-channel system with the greatest level of fidelity to be able to listen to whatever content anyone wants to listen to in the household.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm glad you brought that up because, guys, out here today at Expono, we're showcasing just a 2.2 stereo system. But here at Dreamedia, we really are home theater specialists that have kind of reverse engineered what most companies do. We're now getting into hi-fi. So what we're doing is doing a lot of spaces that have really nice 2-channel playback. We have the option for them to just listen to their vinyl or listen to their whatever source they'd like. But then when they have the family in and they want to listen to their 9.6.6 Dolby Atmos system, we got them covered there too. So the flexibility these days, guys, is huge. And we can even extend that into other parts of your home with things like whole house audio, outdoor entertainment. So Dreamedia is really your one-stop shop for all residential electronics, anything that you need for your home. Well, I appreciate you coming on today, Terry. Thank you. And
Good to see you again.
Looking forward to working with you this weekend.
Absolutely.
We would love to see you guys. Come by our room. We're at 1214 at the Schaumburg Convention Center, the Renaissance Schaumburg Convention Center here in Chicago. If you guys like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up and smash that subscribe button down below for more. Till next time, this is Zach with Dreamedia Home Theater. Thank you for watching.